So Stef Broks from Textures
Hey Yogev, Stef here.
legit sent me this thing because he thought that you guys would enjoy what's hiding underneath. And I agree, because this is not how you count the intro. And yes, I will show you how.
Let's talk about this rhythmical thingy of a seed for the like-minded.
Welcome back to Time Consuming, everybody. Episode 80 something. Let's go. It's been a while. And that is way worse. אני לא מקליט בכלל. I just recorded the whole thing and I forgot to press record in Pro Tools, so I need to do everything again. Yes, I am finally back, but Textures are also back. The band responsible for one of my absolute favorite prog metal albums out there is back in the game with a new album. And today, we'll look into the rhythmic secrets behind A Seat for the Like-Minded. By the way, it was very cool to see the name Stef Broks suddenly appear in my inbox. I was very excited. So how do you count this? There are two things that make this intro as cool as it is. The first one is the rhythmic side, of course, and the other one is the arrangement itself. Specifically the order of the instruments within the timeline of the intro, like which instrument comes in first. Let's start with the rhythm. The keyboard is playing what sounds like a very simple 4/4 pattern, alternating between two chords. But then, when everyone else comes in, the time field changes entirely. So, what is going on? Okay, so let's back up a bit. The first thing we need to do is to define what a dotted value is, because that's muy importante for this intro. So, when you add a dot to any note value, you extend it by an extra half of its duration. So let's say we have this pulse, whatever value you want it to be. If we want to make it dotted, we need to add half of its duration. So for example, if this was a whole note, which equals 2 half notes, a dotted whole note equals 3 half notes. If this was a half note, which equals 2 quarter notes, a dotted half note would equal 3 quarter notes. And if this was a quarter note, which equals 2 eighth notes, a dotted quarter note would equal 3 eighth notes, and so on. So if, for example, we take these 3 beats, let's call them quarter notes, and we think about them in an eighth note context. So you see how each quarter note fits 2 eighth notes? So we'll have 6 eighth notes in total. Over those same 6 eighth notes, we can also play 2 dotted quarter notes, because remember, a dotted quarter note equals 3 of these. So layer number 1 would be quarter notes, and layer number 2 would be dotted quarter notes. And together, they sound like this. So we get a 3/2 pattern. Now, let's follow that same logic and apply it again on the eighth notes. So we can think of these 6 eighth notes as 12 16th notes, right? I mean, you see how each eighth note is 2 16th notes long? So now I ask you, how long would a dotted eighth note be? You are correct, assuming you said 3 of these. Yes, 3 16th notes. So now we have 3 layers, and layer number 3 is the dotted eighth note one. So number 1, quarter notes. Number 2, dotted quarter notes. Number 3, dotted eighth notes. Check out the cool interplay between them. So number 1 and number 2 together give us a 2/3 pattern. Number 1 and number 3 together give us a 4/3 pattern. And check out number 2 and number 3 together. That's interesting. They give us a 4/2 pattern. Cool. Now that we know this, let's add instruments to all of this. I'll add kick, snare, hi-hat, and keys. The pattern we have here is 3 bars of 4 long, so 12 quarter notes. 12 quarter notes can fit 8 dotted quarter notes and 16 dotted eighth notes. Also, two quick things. Number one, I'm sorry about this tie over here. It's not supposed to be there, and I can't find my whiteout. I need to get another one. So sorry about that. And number two, I know that the way I wrote layers 2 and 3 is very incorrect in terms of how to write notation. You're supposed to break up the dotted quarter notes and dotted eighth notes when they go over the bar line, but I prefer showing it this way where you can easily see the relationship between the layers in a very graphic way, because writing it correctly looks like this. And that is horrible. That's a good catch. Anyway, the kick and the snare live here on layer number 1, specifically on these hits. The hi-hat lives in layer number 2, playing all the beats, interestingly enough. And I'm saying that because if you've seen some of my previous videos, you might know how much contextual influence I attribute to the hi-hat. So having it not on the main pulses is just sukal. And the keyboards, which are the most important side of this whole interaction, live on layer number 3, playing all the notes again. Now, here's the cool thing to notice. Remember how I said that the rhythmic side is only one of the 2 factors that make this intro interesting? Check this out. The keyboard, who is rhythmically the furthest away from the original pulse, is the instrument starting the song off. So the layer that needs the most amount of rhythmic context in order to be understood correctly is starting us off by itself. And because it's playing such a constant, predictable, and easy to digest pattern, we as listeners align with that pulse immediately, which makes the drum and guitar entrance so much more surprising. So technically, the correct way to count this song is this. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I swear it's gonna make sense in a second. Just wait 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hell yes. Come on, that was very nice. And I mean, this whole album, I've been really enjoying it. I feel like it's a more mature version of Textures, which obviously it is, and I've been loving it. So go listen to it, like today. Starting a song with a musical element so far off from the original rhythmic backbone of the piece happens a lot in prog metal, and it's always super fun to hear those. The surprise of revealing the actual pulse is always fun for me to feel, especially the first listen through. Check out this video I did. This song has the same thing. And as I mentioned, Stef Broks, the drummer, he came up with this rhythmic idea, and I found myself wondering how it came to be. And with the power of the internet and a couple of emails, look at what we have.
Let's talk about this rhythmical thingy of a seed for the like-minded. This thing is something I came up with during drum lessons. It was during exchanging drum fills. The student plays a fill and then I play a fill over and over. And the cool thing, of course, is if you can actually, as a teacher, distract the drum student from the actual beat with your drum fill. Why is that fun? Just because. But it's also pedagogically cool to do this because with that distraction, you actually force the students to pay more attention to the actual pulse so that they come back to the one correctly. So the fill I came up with, as far as I can remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It maybe sounds like a sort of regular pod rhythm to you, but it's still kind of tricky when you don't count along. And I think I made it even more tricky by playing 2 bass drums 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, to create a sort of illusion of a regular doom-da backbeat. So what's going on here is a 3/4 polyrhythm. The 4 is going on with the one hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other one plays the 3 like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the 3 I actually divide by and kick and then snare. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can count along with either the 4s or the 3s. And that made me come up with the idea, which is not entirely new, but having a song with these two pulses combined, not only in the drums, but also in the bass, in the guitar, and also in the vocals. You can count along with either that one or that one. So what we have is 2 bars of 4/4 in triplets, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. A 6/4 in 16th. Does it make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense, completely. And the cool thing to see is that it seems like for you, Stef, the 4/4 in triplets is the foundation groove, while for me, I felt it more on the 6/4 side, but I called it in a different name. Your 6/4, I counted it in double time, so 12/4, and I divided it into 3 bars of 4/4. Never mind, it's all the same thing, and it's all super, super cool, so go on, continue.
So we're pulling this trick in the main beat, or with the main beat in the first and second verse, by the way, but I also do that as a drummer with the fills. The first and the third fill I approach as a 6/4 in 16, while the second and the fourth fill I approach as 2 bar 4/4, but then in triplets. An extra little Easter egg is that the intro synth forms another extra polyrhythm on itself. Like that.
First of all, how awesome was that? That was super, super cool. And thank you for joining, Stef. The second thing that is very cool to notice is that you see how he mentions the keyboard as like the last thing that is added on top of everything? Well, for me, that was the thing that I leaned on the most, because I experienced this song as a listener. I wasn't there when they wrote the song, obviously, so I don't know what came first. But the keyboards are the thing that start the song, so I perceive it in a totally like neutral way, which is very, very cool. I love seeing these differences and how different people can just see the same thing in 2 different ways. Anyway, Stef, thank you very much for joining. This was really, really cool. You are awesome. Well, that's it for today. And on a more personal note, if you've seen my last upload, I mentioned there that I'll be out for a few months because I was working on a full-length course. And that's true, but you know, life happened and a few months turned into almost a full year. Jesus, wow, that took way longer than I thought. But long story short, my Konnakol for Muggles course, a Western introduction to Indian rhythms, is ready and will be out pretty soon. I also moved from my beloved Boston, which I have lived in forever, and now I'm living in Nashville, Tennessee. So I am a Nashvillian. So that happened. I mean, come say hi if you're around. And I'm finally set up again and ready to spam YouTube with my top-notch second-grade artistic rhythm breakdowns again. So thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. I want to say one last thank you to Stef Broks from Textures. And also, I want to say a special thanks for all my Patreon supporters who kept supporting me this whole year. This is huge for me, people, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, anyway, let's bring this video to a close. And as always, I'll see you in the future.